Every year, on the night of October 31st, millions of people across the world celebrate Halloween, a night filled with glowing pumpkins, spooky costumes, and trick-or-treat. But behind the laughter, candies, and costumes lies a deep, ancient story that began thousands of years ago, long before the world knew it as Halloween. Tonight, let us travel through time to uncover the mysterious origins and fascinating journey of one of the world's most beloved festivals, the story of Halloween. Our story begins more than 2,000 years ago in the misty hills of ancient Ireland, Scotland, and parts of northern France. The people of that time were the Celts, farmers and warriors who followed the rhythms of nature and the changing seasons. For them, the year was divided between light and darkness, summer and winter, life and death. And as the last crops were harvested and the cold nights grew longer, they celebrated a sacred festival called Samhain, pronounced Samhain. Samhain marked the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter, a time when the sun believed the veil between the world of the living and the dead grew thin. It was said that on this night, spirits of ancestors returned to visit their families, and restless ghosts wandered in search of warmth and light. Fires were lit atop the hills, bonfires, to guide spirits home and to protect villagers from dark forces. People wore animal skins and masks, disguising themselves to confuse wandering ghosts. Food was left outside to please the spirits and prevent them from causing harm. Samhain was not about fear, it was about respecting the dead, welcoming ancestors, and preparing for the long, dark months ahead. But as time passed, new cultures, religions, and beliefs would mix with these old Celtic traditions, and Halloween, as we know, it began to take shape. By the 1st century AD, the Roman Empire had conquered most of Celtic Europe. With them came their own festivals, like Feralia, a day to honor the dead, and Pomona, the goddess of fruit and trees. Pomona's symbol was the apple, and from this, many historians believe we inherited the tradition of bobbing for apples, still popular in some Halloween parties today. Over time, the old Celtic Samhain and the Roman traditions merged, blending customs of honoring the dead, lighting fires, and celebrating the harvest into one powerful festival that survived for centuries. As Christianity spread through Europe, the Church sought to reshape pagan festivals with Christian meanings. In the 7th century, Pope Boniface IV established All Saints' Day, originally celebrated on May 13th, to honor all saints and martyrs. But by the 9th century, Pope Gregory III moved it to November 1st, likely to align with Samhain. The night before All Saints' Day became known as All Hallows' Eve, eventually shortened to Halloween. Christian influence transformed the festival, but never completely erased its ancient roots. People continued lighting candles for souls, dressing in costumes to ward off evil, and celebrating the boundary between life and death. During the Middle Ages, Halloween traditions continued to evolve. One popular custom was souling. On All Hallows' Eve, poor people, especially children, would go singing prayers for the dead in exchange for soul cake, small round pastries marked with a cross. In return for these cakes, the living prayed for the souls of loved ones believed to be in purgatory. This act of kindness and remembrance later inspired the modern tradition of trick-or-treat. Meanwhile, fear of witches, ghosts, and supernatural beings grew stronger. People told stories of black cats, broomsticks, and spirits lurking in the shadows, symbols that still define Halloween imagery today. By the 17th century, as European settlers traveled to the New World, they carried with them their customs and beliefs. However, in early colonial America, Halloween was not widely celebrated. The strict Puritan beliefs of New England rejected such festivals as superstitious. But in the southern colonies and among immigrants from Ireland and Scotland, old traditions quietly survived. By the 1800s, waves of Irish immigrants fleeing the Great Famine brought Samhain's legacy to American soil. It was in the United States that Halloween transformed again, blending old world customs with new American ideas. People began carving faces into turnips, later replaced by the pumpkin, which was native to America and much easier to carve. Thus was born the glowing jack-o'-lantern. According to Irish legend, there once was a man named Stingy Jack, a trickster who fooled the devil several times but was too wicked to enter heaven and too clever to be taken to hell. Condemned to wander the earth forever, Jack carried a lantern carved from a turnip, lit with an ember given by the devil. He became known as Jack of the Lantern, or Jack-o'-lantern. To ward off such wandering spirits, people carved their own lanterns and placed them outside their homes, glowing warning in the dark. By the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Halloween began to shift again. In America, it evolved from a night of superstition into a community celebration. Parties, games, and festive gatherings replaced the old fears. Children dressed up as ghosts, witches, and fairies, going door to door saying, "Trick or treat," echoing the ancient practice of souling. Costumes became colorful, friendly, and sometimes funny rather than frightening. Pumpkin carving, apple bobbing, haunted houses, and costume contests became yearly traditions. Halloween was now about imagination, creativity, and fun. Today, Halloween is celebrated across many countries, each adding its own unique twist. In Mexico, the Day of the Dead, or Día de los Muertos, honors ancestors with candles, flowers, and offerings, a colorful and sacred blend of remembrance and joy. In Japan, people enjoy massive parades where thousands dress up in elaborate costumes. And in Ireland, where it all began, bonfires still blaze, and families gather to play traditional games and tell ghost stories. From Europe to Asia, Africa to America, Halloween has become a night where cultures meet in the glow of candles and the laughter of children. Beyond the pumpkins, costumes, and candy, Halloween carries a deeper message, one that connects us all. It's about facing our fears, remembering our past, and celebrating the thin line between life and death. It reminds us that darkness and light, joy and fear, all exist together. Every time a candle flickers inside a pumpkin, every time a child laughs behind a mask, we echo an ancient ritual that began thousands of years ago on the misty fields of Ireland. So the next time you dress up, carve a pumpkin, or watch the shadows dance in the candlelight, remember you are part of a story that stretches back through centuries of mystery, legend, and human imagination. Halloween isn't just a night of ghosts and ghouls. It's a celebration of life itself, wrapped in the beauty of the unknown. And that is the history of Halloween, from the fires of Samhain to the jack-o'-lantern's glow. A journey of spirit, superstition, and celebration that continues to this very night. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories. Happy Halloween!